Hello, everybody. I am Denise Smith of Our Metaverse. Our Metaverse is a community coming together through loving kindness to understand, share, talk about, and be with each other through our shared common humanity. Your presence is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you for being here tonight. We're going to talk tonight about a tiny bit of a paradigm shift when we're dealing with big emotions. So I'm going to go right into a slideshow. And we're going to call this one petal at a time, breaking down what feels too big. Now, have you guys heard any other kind of sayings of how you handle big emotions that may have to do with an elephant?
Yes. One bite at
Right.
one bite at a time.
So here's my kind of challenge to that, if I can click here. What if we were a little more gentle with ourselves? What would that look like? Instead of how do you eat an elephant, because you don't.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Caroline. Mike, Deb, Caroline. What if we put this more like, rather than eating elephants, what if we painted flowers? And what if we just painted them one petal at a time? Right? It's really hard to paint a whole flower at one time. It's really hard to eat an elephant at one time. So, but if we take it down into parts, it can be really, really useful for our emotional balance and for kind of keeping ourselves in a little bit of check, less overwhelm. I put this one in here for Nathan because down in San Diego recently we made mallas together. So I said, how do you make a malla? Nathan? See it?
Sorry, I'm talking to Sandra too.
Oh,
Sorry, what was it? I
how do you
don't
make a
remember.
malla?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
One beat at a time, right,
Yeah,
Nils?
yeah, one literally, yes.
We sat there for hours. And we woke up the next morning like, that felt good. Let's do it again. It was kind of
Yeah,
fun.
it was pretty fun.
Kind of fun. So sometimes what feels what we feel seems enormous. Tell me if you can relate to that at all by raising your hand. Okay. If not, God bless you. It can feel like a tidal wave of frustration, fear, anger, sadness. And so tonight we're going to learn how to take what feels overwhelming, gently break it down into pieces so that we can work with what's going on. Thank you for showing up. I want to acknowledge your courage because this was put out that we're going to be dealing with our emotions tonight, and coming to deal with your emotions takes courage. So thank you. We're going to observe our experience, become more familiar with that experience. And when we become more familiar with something, it holds less over us and therefore causes less fear. I got my little thing on. In tonight's experience, we're going to move into this order so that you feel comfortable with, like, as we go into our own emotions. When I first started, it was like I was so numb I couldn't even feel them. They bring up an emotion, you're like, ah, and I couldn't access them. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing so that we know step by step how this is going to go. We're going to be understanding why big emotions feel so big, why. We're going to learn 3 lenses to look at them with: body, mind, and emotion. We're going to practice how breath regulates our body. We're going to do a guided meditation, breaking down one real emotion that we feel. Then we'll reflect and integrate, and we'll do a little forgiveness and dedication at the end. What I want to offer people is this is a method. It's a learnable, repeatable method. So that after tonight, if there's a takeaway that you have with you and you're in a situation where, oh, I'm in this emotion, maybe you can come back and go, oh, wait a minute. There was this method that we did with our metaverse, and maybe it will work in that moment. What I like about this, I want to stop sharing for 1 second. We've had teacher Robina Courtine come with us, Venerable Robina Courtine. She talks about when we can recognize that an emotion is beginning to grow in us as we back out the driveway, it's a lot easier to do something about that emotion. Like, let's say that if we notice our tire is wobbly while we're in the driveway, it's a lot easier to do something about that tire than it is to do when we're in the fast lane of the freeway. And now we notice that the tire is wobbly. Same thing with our emotions, right? If we can catch them a little bit earlier, that's great. The method tonight is going to be, what if we didn't catch them earlier? What do we do when we notice it in the fast lane on the freeway? Okay, how great. You see it again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's take a couple seconds here. We're going to look at a salt marsh. We're going to take some breaths. I'm going to hit play. We're just going to breathe and invite everybody to mindfully come into this moment, let go of what you were dealing with today. It's about 30 seconds, okay? Hey. I'm going to advance my screen. Here we go. So now we're invited to reflect just silently. Is there something in your life right now that may feel heavy? Is there something that might feel larger than you? I'm going to use one word here called news, potentially. Who knows? Who knows? But is there something that feels pretty big? Then I'm going to invite you to set your own intention, or to set an intention, which is focusing our energy into a certain space so we can try to get more out of that energy. That may be something like, may I learn how to meet what feels big in a way that brings steadiness instead of overwhelm. Let's create your own intention for this evening. When we learn to break something down, we gain agency. We gain a role that we can guide things. We move from being flooded to being skillful. May this help all of us do that. So across many wisdom traditions, both ancient and modern, people have long observed that our experience can be understood through 3 different lenses. The parentheses are my interpretation of these. They're what works for me. The body, to me, is the gut feeling, the gut instinct, what's happening to that. The mind, I put the heart here because I believe, like with a lot of the compassion studies, we believe the mind is here. We say body, speech, and mind, and the mind is here. I'm going to invite this mind to be a combination of thinking and our heart, thinking in our heart. Where am I? Am I in my head, or am I in my heart for the mind part of this? And for the emotions, I'm using this as a full body energy. So the 3 lenses that we have experiences through are like this gut, some instinctual, somewhere between the heart and brain, not mind. Brain is not mind. If you have questions about that, please ask. and emotions, the whole body energy. And sometimes you feel all of them simultaneously. They feel really big.
Usually I feel.
And thank you, Deb, because most of us feel it simultaneously, right? So why do some experiences feel so big? Well, when something happens, the body reacts first. Our heart rate changes, our muscles tighten, our breath shortens, the nervous system activates before we think about it. I do want to put out there the invitation of joy. Let your heart rate change from joy and notice that too. Maybe your muscles relax, okay? I don't want to stay only on negativity, but the better that we understand the negativity in our body and mind, the more we can deal with it. The nervous system activates before we can think about it. The mind creates a story. This always happens. It always happens to me. I can't handle this. It's too big. Something terrible is happening and going to happen because of this, right? Our mind, our mind is the suffering part, they say in Buddhism. First you have the pain, and then you have the suffering of that story that comes with the pain. And then emotion builds from both of those. The sensation plus the story equal a really big emotional intensity. And when these three blend together without awareness, they feel like one giant solid thing. But they aren't solid. They are components. And anything made up of components can be separated. So now for my image, when I look body, speech, and mind, or body, mind, and emotions, excuse me, of course it goes body, mind, and then emotions. I asked this image to be the way that I feel it. The body is the gut part of it. The mind is the heart part of it. What is my brain overriding my heart is the way I look at it for the mind. Am I telling stories where my brain is getting too wrapped up and my heart isn't hanging in here with it? And then emotions are like, ah, and then they are they all too big? But at least they're not all simultaneous now. Now I can step into understanding each one of them. So we start by saying, all right, here's our method, okay? First body, then mind, then emotions. So we ask, we're in this fast lane, our wheels are wobbling. What do I feel? And we let ourselves feel. I feel a tight chest, maybe. I feel some heat in my face. My stomach. Oh man, I faced something the other day in a counseling atmosphere that had a gut hole in my stomach that was just, whoa! It was, and there it was. And I felt it physically. Shallow breath. I definitely was added a shallow breath was part of it. So when we calm the breath, we can send this signal of safety into our nervous system. A calm breath tells our body, it's going to be okay. It's okay. This moment is okay. This is a friend of ours. And he just said, it's okay. I'm here with you. I'm right here. And he breathed slowly, and it got me to breathe slowly. And oh my God, it was amazing to tell my body it's okay. That alone can reduce, and it did reduce for me. That experience did just like they didn't add something onto it. They just stopped, were with me, and breathed. It was great. mind. After we go, okay, here's what's going on in my body, we try to slow our body down with our breath. We say with our mind, what's the story I'm telling? What am I forecasting? What meaning am I assigning this? Now I'm going to put this in better language. I'm going to put this in my experience language through time, okay? This horrible thing is happening to me because I'm a bad person, would be the story I'm telling myself. This is always going to be this way because I'm weird. And the meaning that I'm assigning that means I'm never going to have any friends because of that. Those are intense stories. Some of these stories sit in us that are like, where did these come from? But to acknowledge that they're there is this beautiful entrance into what we need to integrate back into our healthy lifestyle. What if that story didn't need to be there? What if it's just a story that I'm just this wacko? What if I'm not? What if I'm okay? What if I do have qualities people would want to be my friend for? We start questioning our stories. The mind amplifies, okay? And the number one rule for mental health is do not exaggerate. We can catch that in our stories. Am I exaggerating something? When we isolate that story, we can.
Or even if you relate, if you get triggered by those words, just say, I don't have to believe everything I think.
Yes.
And that's helped me a lot, so I don't go, I'm exaggerating, then I kind of trigger some other, sometimes words are powerful that way, but I like I don't have to believe everything I think.
Perfect. I don't have to believe this. It's here, but I don't have to believe it. I can see they also have a methodology of non-identifying with it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a story here. That story is not me.
Right. Yeah.
Just like a feeling. There is sadness here. That sadness is not my person. My person is this pure loving being with all the potential to be all of that, who's seeing some sadness, who's experiencing some sadness with my mind, with my body. But I, underneath that all, am this amazing being with such potential. Thank you, Deb. And then emotions, we can ask ourselves, if I took away these bodily sensations, and if I softened this story a little bit, this exaggerated, amplified story, what's this core feeling underneath this? Mine, I think I can share without breaking down the other day. Mine was something triggered me into remembering the 4-year-old whose mom just would not play with her. Oh, I had pushed that so far down. It had not surfaced in a long time. When it surfaced the other day, it was like, whoo, wow, this is guttural. this is owie. And then, as we've talked about a lot in our metaverse, I have tried to meet that 4-year-old with the 58-year-old me that knows a little differently and nurtured that 4-year-old in me in a way that my mom couldn't. So when we soften the story and we take a breath to slow down those bodily sensations, we can try to become in touch with what was there. What was there? Like an unworthiness. What was there? And I can now become a little bit more curious about the basis of this. So I can know what to nurture, or I can work on nurturing that. And it became more simple. And when it became more noticed between my body and my mind, then the emotions didn't stay giant. It did for a little while, for sure, but not forever. So if you feel comfortable, I would like to invite us into a shared practice where we will start by using our breath as a regulator for our body. And then I'm going to prompt us in a guided meditation to bring up an emotion. Now, I think you guys have heard this before. Some people have been here for a little while. The first time this got invited an exercise like this, I was in an in-person room with this big circle of people, and I brought up an emotion that was an absolute 10. And I ended up breaking down and crying, and it was a big mess, and they held me very gently, and it was really nice and tender. But I'm going to invite you to bring up a 4 while we're in a exercise that we will be putting up on YouTube, and it will be public for people to learn from our experiences together. Consider something that we'll be saying, bring up a big emotion. And so bring it something that will allow you to feel it in your body, but potentially not overwhelm you in your body tonight. Okay. So I'm going to invite you into a position where breathing and stillness is comfortable for you. If that is standing, that's okay. If that is sitting wherever you are, maybe feet on the floor. I tend to cross my feet sometimes underneath me, but feet on the floor flat helps. If that's sitting on a cushion, and if that happens to be laying down, before you or as you go into your laying down position, say, this is not for sleep. This is not for relaxation. This is for awareness and meditation. And I'm going to do this laying down. And keep yourself alert while you're there. Okay. So I'm going to invite us to inhale. I'm going to do this 4 times, slowly for 4 seconds. And then we're going to exhale for 6 seconds. Okay. And I'm going to just guide that. The longer exhale activates the calming pathways. As the breath steadies, the body will soften. When the body softens, the emotional charge will decrease. This is not the part you bring up the emotion with yet. We are just coming into our breath. Okay. And your breath will tell the body you're safe while we're going to look at this. So we're just arriving into our breath. Okay. So we're going to inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4, and exhale slowly for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And inhale for 4, 2, and exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Inhale for 4, 2, and exhale for 6, 2, 6. And we're going to go into now the exercise about breaking down a big emotion. To take this easy with yourself. We're going to do this slowly and with space. Okay? So bring to mind something that feels big, not traumatic, but real. try to think of one thing and hold to that one thing if possible. Maybe you got a horrible grade on a test that devastated you. Maybe a news story's got you thinking way too much. And just try to bring it up. And as it comes up, notice the response in the body. Ask yourself, what do I physically feel? Tight chest, maybe? Some heat? Something in your stomach area? Feel what happens with your breath when you bring that up. And now let's offer it 2 rounds of that same breathing. We're going to go in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in for 4, 2, 3, 4, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now keep the calm breathing, telling your body as this is here, my body's okay. We're okay. But it's still here, this big thing. And gently shift now to your mind, to the story. What's the story I'm telling myself around this experience? What am I afraid will happen? You have the choice to enact that breath tool this whole time, okay? What's the belief underneath this story? Don't judge, just observe what's here. What's the story? And we're going to go into the emotion. Ask yourself, beneath the sensations in my body, beneath this story, is there an emotion I can name? And if there is, try to sit with it with that calm breath. Try not to change it. Just to allow it some space with calm breath. Can the emotion be here without the story? Your breath tool is always with you. Can the emotion be here without resisting it? Can it be here when I breathe slowly? And now feel into the energy and kind of measure it between when the first brought up that thing that feels really big and what it might feel like now that you've examined. Where is it in my body? Where is it in my mind story? And where is it in my emotions? Did something change when you broke it down into parts? And I invite you to take a few more minutes of sacred space for yourself, and then as you're ready, come back. And I invite you fully back, please. Might want to put your hand on your heart if that feels good, feels comforting or nurturing. And if anybody would like to share any reflections. A couple of questions are, did something shift? And if so, what shifted when you separated these parts? Or what happened when you slowed your breath? Yeah.
I can share.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I kind of went into some feelings of resentment that I have with between, what's kind of going on with my mom and sister. And it was really helpful to break it down, and it kind of dissolved, and some of my anger, a little bit of the resentment pieces, because I was able to kind of think it through, and just not take it in all at once. So it kind of helped, like you said, break it down a bit, and kind of dissolve some of the feelings that were so big, the bigger feelings, to just sort of break those down. So it did help a lot. And the breath helps me so much too. I notice that it really starts to, when I start to really focus on the breath and relaxing into my body, it kind of helps move some of the um, energy that I have going on there, that sometimes doesn't feel so good. So yeah, I really like that.
Was there a lens that was more powerful to you between the body and the mind and the emotions?
And
Did
um,
one stand out?
I think, yeah, maybe just kind of understand, trying to see it from I don't want to say above, but from maybe my higher self, where I was thinking that this thing that I'm having, that I'm struggling with so much, is not all of my responsibility. Sort of giving myself a little bit of grace there, so it was able to help me see that, I wasn't, not to. Sometimes I feel bad for feeling the resentment, and that makes me feel bad about myself sometimes, right? Because I'm really trying to be this good daughter and sister and all these things, and I feel this responsibility somehow. But when I'm able to kind of zoom out a little bit, and see kind of how I feel and what's going on, I can acknowledge my feelings and then have a little bit more self-compassion for myself, and then I start to, when I have it for myself, then I also start to have it for my mom and my sister, so it kind of softens everything that way. So that helped a lot.
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Marie has been helping her sister who's been fighting with some depression and wishing that she didn't need to a lot of times.
Mhm.
Would anybody else like to reflect on their experience through that meditation of trying to break things down a little bit? Maybe I can unmute you, Rach. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
thanks.
Okay.
My phone wasn't working. So
Mm.
thanks, Marie, for sharing. I just speak so elegantly and just from the heart, and appreciate your words. Um, for me, it's kind of hard to like pinpoint exactly kind of the underlying lesson that I'm struggling to find myself. For me, um, I have a set standard that I try to apply every day, certain rhythm that I like to play out, to maintain. just a structured routine, like with my kids specifically, and at times being human, especially during the week. Saturday is my day off, kind of deal. Like I get to sleep in. But as we piddle down to the end of the week, I just notice my energy levels going lower and lower, right? Like, I fill up my truck at the beginning of the week, and that's kind of how I look at my body right now. My energy levels, my fuel tank's just depleting. So I got quite upset today because I couldn't put any more effort into my little ones. And I was just upset with myself for not being able to push through. And I really had to lean on my son just for support tonight. And he was so there in a heartbeat, ready to help out his little sister. And so when we were going through the meditation, just again, the first emotion that came up was anger at myself, anger for depleting myself too much. And I just get mad that I can't do more. But when I stop for just a moment and I ask for help, that's kind of um, what I kind of took from it. It was like I was so grateful to have the help, to receive the help. Um, but I realized that people do other things differently than myself. And so I have a level of disappointment because they don't reach the expectations that I have. And so there's so much gratitude for the help, but then also I get upset because it's not the way I would do it. So I'm sitting here like fighting with myself back and forth as we're doing everything. And so I was able to reduce the emotion from anger to disappointment, but I just got completely stuck. And I know the story that was playing out was just me being a little kid and my relationship with me and my dad. Like there was a level of perfection. If you didn't meet perfection, then you might as not well do it.
Mhm.
And so it goes to that, but again, I got completely stuck with the disappointment, and I'm like, I don't know what to do from here. And that's when you're like, okay, come back fully. And it was like just put it
You
kind of
didn't,
out there
may
to this
I offer,
community.
you didn't think you knew what to do.
Well, what I took from it was just kind of putting it out there and just asking again for help, maybe to move past this level of disappointment.
And what if that was what you were supposed to do? Somehow you knew.
I don't know why it's hard to receive help. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit with that.
Sounds like the lesson was learning to ask for help, and now you get to figure out how to receive it,
Thanks,
which is
Deb.
hard.
Doesn't need to be. You'd think that that's quite easy.
I don't know a single woman that doesn't struggle with that.
Poor
Mhm.
man.
Yeah,
It's
but
really a
especially
person
women, I
thing.
think. I think we're taught that, we can do it all, we can be it all. It's like, who decided this?
Mhm.
I feel like it's a level of ego, though. It's like, well, I should be able to manage all this. And if I can't manage it all, then again, I'm not perfect. And so it's like an insult to myself that, oh, I haven't maintained this level of perfection. And it also, I see though the beauty in asking for help. I saw my son light up at the dinner table. His favorite thing, we try to go around the dinner table and just say, what was one of your favorite things for the night? And he's like, when Isla looked at me and she just said, I love you, brother. Thanks for helping me today. And it's just like he lit up from that experience. And it's like, it, I just need to ask for help more often.
One of
Life
the
would be easier.
things One of the things, Rachel, and thank you for this beautiful share. Thank you.
Mm.
One of the things that I watch this teacher, Gabor Mate, that I'm working with now in this compassionate inquiry course, is I watch him switch roles. He'll encourage a role switch. So now you are Isla, and Isla is you. What would you advise Isla to do if she were overwhelmed?
Caroline, you're muted.
I'm gonna say to hug your mommy.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
No.
Thanks, Caroline.
Would teaching her to ask for help be something you would offer?
Of course.
Yeah. And that it's good to ask for help. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's,
Model that, yeah.
I think at one point, because I think I'm a little bit older probably than you.
Mhm.
But at one point, one of my friends kind of gave me one of those pieces of feedback that makes you go gulp. And she kind of
Mhm.
reminded me by me being so hyper responsible doing this that I was denying other people. By doing that, I was denying other
Mm.
people the chance to get. She goes, you know how good you feel when you help someone, you're not letting anybody else feel that with you. And that
Mm.
brings them close to you. Or you're not allowing them to see you in your humanity. Like all of a sudden, it's just kind of like, it's in the thing that you're trying so hard to do and that's burning you out might be the growth opportunity that they need. And boy, I had to sit and think about that one for a while.
Thank you,
But
Deb.
it's true because I think, sorry, I don't want to switch it.
Please, please.
Well, no, it was one of those things that like what I'm realizing what really just came up for me is that how many of these things when I go into the emotion and I look at the mind part, it brings up all these old stories I was told. They're not even my stories. They're stories that were handed to me. And
100%.
and it was just like, oh my God, it's like like why am, what's the story I'm telling myself? I don't really think that. Why, and I realized that's something I was told as a child. And that was my parents' story or the way and it was their way of coping. But it's kind of stunning to realize how old these are. And it's like, I don't necessarily believe that's true, but it's sitting there driving my behavior.
Yes.
Mm.
It's really, it's
Well
stunning
put.
to me.
Well put, Deb.
Well, and it's kind of an unconscious process, and I think
Yeah.
what you've described, Denise, is a way to look at it. So you break it up, right, one petal at a time, and then maybe your consciousness can take over rather than just your unconscious stories, which you're not really probably even connected with at the time. They're just automatic.
And to be entirely fair, sometimes it was my childhood understanding of what was said. And if I really sit and think about it, it's like, I don't think that's what that adult meant. But it's how my child that didn't have all the other
Interpreted it.
things to interpret it or to hear it the way that that person was trying to communicate to me. I heard it some weird warped way, and it's just stuck with me. It's like, oh, I got to root a few of these out.
It's imprinted, right?
And
Yeah.
and when you come to the realization that you may not have understood it the way that they delivered it, can you still give yourself some compassion in saying, probably anybody could have gotten that confused?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably I'm not the only person who could have misinterpreted that. And so I'm not going to criticize myself for that, but I am going to be pretty grateful that there's an opportunity to see it from this little shift and maybe move it into a different place that's more comfortable within my body, that doesn't drive me so much. But now that I understand it, become familiar with it, therefore am less scared of it, doesn't drive me.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, even with children and things, there's appropriate levels of taking care of each other. There's inappropriate caretaking, certainly, that's sometimes asked of children, but there's also appropriate caretaking to say, hey, mommy's human and that's all I've got for the day. How could we work this out? And that leaves a child also kind of being able to be creative and
You
maybe
say give
exercise
them
their,
agency, right?
yeah, it gives them
Empower
some right,
them
right.
to be just like you.
Yeah. And it's
Mm.
nice to know that we can count on each other and help each other from time to time, that it's not just I have to be the well for everybody.
You know, Deb, one time I met this nurse, I mean, overboard. She's a personal friend of ours, and overboard, giver, doer, for, do everything. And she was thinking about needing some help. She had to go be by herself with that help. And I just talked with her and said, somebody told me one time that if I let them do for me, I let them create good karma for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was something in that that gave me this permission, like, okay, please do for me because you'll get such good karma out of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
It like opened this, okay, now I get it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Love it.
It was interesting, Rachel, you mentioned the perfectionistic from your dad, and I think that's a common thing. On my side, my mom was more of a martyr. So kind of
Mm.
perfectionist, but a martyr. And so it's interesting when you play the perfectionistic with the martyr, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's no room for what we just talked about, right? There's no room to be human, to be emotionally, vulnerable as quote unquote the adult in the room. And it's just like parents that protect their kids throughout and they don't learn, right? They just are in this protected world, and then the world is cruel. I mean, the world will make them kind of resist. I've always thought that a lot of kids have grown up in a very protective way, and it's from the best intentions of the parents to protect that. And they're out in the world, and this is a world where I think you need to be resilient. And how are they getting that? How are they finding that
Mhm.
if they haven't learned it from their childhood?
And if they walk out into that world going, I know how to help my mom, I can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Well
even the
said,
times
Denise.
even the times that I got, like I said, my youngest is 27 now, so or our
Mhm.
youngest, I guess I should say, sorry. But
I was part of it.
yeah. But the thing is,
Somewhat.
like, we all get to the end of our rope some days, and sometimes you find yourself things you don't liking doing. And somebody reminded me that, like, it's okay to go back and say, I'm sorry, can I have a do-over? And
Mm.
just some of those skills to be able to say that, I'm really sorry. I was tired and I was frustrated, and you caught me at that moment, and I bit your head off. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And can I have a do-over? Can we talk about that again?
Mhm.
And I guess I didn't realize, well, I think I kind of did, but maybe not as consciously, is that I was teaching them that skill by doing it too, that they could be human and have a moment, but that they could come back and do repair.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So,
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
and
Beautiful.
Good
I
nuggets of wisdom. Appreciate it, guys.
oh, I
This is
mean,
what I
we all
love.
help each other, and it's like,
What I love, Deb, is that you're sharing from your experience. What we find in the compassion world is not helpful as saying you should do this.
Mm.
That's just not helpful. That says you're broken and I have your answer. Right? And so both of those are you don't have the competence of having an answer and because you're broken. It's a horrible dynamic.
yeah, yeah,
But for us to say, I had this experience, this is how it came out for me, this is how the do-over worked, is so great. And then from our experience, other people can try on something for themselves. It doesn't mean they have
Mhm.
to do it our way, but they can
right,
feel. So I
right, exactly.
really
I think
appreciate you
everybody's
sharing
got,
from your experience.
yeah, and everybody will have their own interpretation for it or way that they do it, whatever. But it took a load off of my mind to give myself a little, I really wanted to be a good parent. I wanted to do better than, some of the things that we grew up with. But you need to leave kind of realizing that perfectionism can sneak in and really make that a burden rather than not the good intention it's meant to be. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to warp this too, and trying to like
Mm,
give myself some room to be human too.
There you
So
go.
thank you. Did
Caroline
anything
or
come up then
Nathan,
for
did
you,
you have,
Deb?
sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you guys were doing the meditation, did anything come up specifically for you, either of you?
was that
Caroline
to us
or Nathan?
or Nathan?
Oh, I think Nathan dropped
I
off.
think Nathan dropped out.
Yeah.
He's got a final tomorrow. He said he was going to hang out for a little while.
Oh, that's nice.
Caroline, you good tonight, or would you like to share?
No, I had a Denise moment.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, yes.
So I was like thinking like, okay, what is, consuming me lately? And it's the weirdest thing. The whole Nancy Guthrie thing has just,
I don't know what that
it's
is.
like at nighttime. So Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show, her mom got kidnapped from her
Okay.
house, like in the middle of the night. And they didn't know, did mom just, she's 84 years old, did she just wander off and disappear? But then they found blood. And it's been like this whole who done it. And I just been like sucked in, and yesterday came up with film, showing that it was somebody that was a masked man, that had a backpack on and had a gun, and it breaks my heart, that here's this 84-year-old woman, just being, a grandmother, and this person just, in the middle of the night takes her.
Sure. So this was a big emotion that you've been dealing with.
Yes, and I don't know why I can't get it out of my brain.
That's and so tonight when we did our meditation, did it help to divide it up a little bit?
Help to breathe. And it's like, okay, Caroline, this is not your mother. Let it go, But still, it's like, why? What is this in my brain that's, grabbed onto this?
Yeah. Why am I resonating with that particular story?
Yeah, nobody in my family's
And
ever been
and
kidnapped.
can I be non-judgmental about it, but just
Yes.
know that it's here. Now my question is, as we went through this exercise and meditation tonight, did any of you eliminate the emotion?
I mean, I eliminated my anger, it dropped to disappointment. I wasn't angry anymore, but I
But
didn't
did
eliminate.
it just go away? Entirely
Oh
gone?
no.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Right? It shouldn't. No, well, I'm going to say should on that one. The experience, the
Don't shit on yourself.
experience, the experience of being with our emotions in these broken down, in a positive way, smaller pieces, is that we can still be with the emotion, but not in an overwhelming way.
Right.
We don't get rid of emotions. We don't make them erased and go away. We
Good
allow
point.
them, they end up being here, but in a more manageable way. That's what kind of has been the experience of this exercise over time with other experiences with it, has just been, okay, I can see this news situation that's really driving me into thinking and feeling, and my body doesn't feel comfortable, and my mind is ruminating, and it's all here. And so can I divide it? What's this doing to my body? And can I slow it down with breath? What's the story that I'm putting around it? And is that story all there? Is it something I'm projecting onto it? And can I try to take the story away? Can I try to take the part of it in my body away by breathing and let it be a concern, but not an overwhelming concern? That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's our kind of methodology with this. So I'm going to, as always, ask for forgiveness in you going through this with me. I hope that I didn't create an uncomfortable feeling that was so uncomfortable that it was unmanageable. or that I didn't do something that you were completely unprepared for and therefore created something negative from tonight doing this exercise together. Please forgive me if I did. If there's any part of what you shared tonight that you feel like, should I have said that? What about this? Or I could have offered this other thing, and blah, and we start into another experience that we have to break down. I'm going to offer you, I'm going to ask you to offer yourself forgiveness. To give yourself a little bit of love and just to take it easy and to know where we are all trying to figure out how to see the wheel in the driveway, not in the fast lane. And I wanted to dedicate the time that we've put in together in a hard thing to do is to face our own emotions, to face our own mind, to face what's going on in our own body. That this skill may help us meet life more calmly, one piece at a time, one moment at a time. That we remember that nothing is as solid as it appears. And may we become steadier for ourselves and for others, knowing that we have tools like this that can help us. And may all wars end immediately. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us.